Have you ever looked at someone else's life and thought, I'm doing better than them? What if that one thought slowly ruined your own life without you even realizing it? Stay with me, because this story will change the way you judge people forever. There was once a small, quiet village, a place where nothing ever changed. The same faces, the same roads, the same routine every single day. In this village lived two men. Their houses stood directly opposite each other, separated only by a narrow dirt road. They woke up at the same time. They saw each other every morning. But their lives could not have been more different. On one side lived a monk. He wore simple robes, spoke very little, and was known as a man of prayer and meditation. Every morning before sunrise, he was supposed to sit quietly, close his eyes, and connect his soul with God. Across the road lived a butcher. His work was loud, rough, and uncomfortable to watch. Every morning, the sound of sharp knives filled the street. Blood stained his workspace. The smell of raw meat hung in the air. Many villagers avoided even looking at his shop, and every morning, the monk watched him. At first, the monk tried to ignore it. He closed his eyes, tried to focus on his prayers, but the sounds were always there. The butcher sharpening his knives, the butcher working with full focus, the butcher doing his job. Slowly, the monk's mind began to wander. How sinful, he thought, how cruel this work is. How unfortunate his soul must be. Day after day, these thoughts grew stronger. Instead of praying, he watched. Instead of meditating, he judged. He told himself, I live a pure life. I gave up worldly things. I am closer to God. And about the butcher, he thought, he destroys life. How can God allow this? I am clearly better than him. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. The monk sat at his window every morning, not to look inward, but to look across the road. His prayers became shorter. His meditation became restless. His heart slowly filled with pride, comparison, and silent mockery. Meanwhile, the butcher lived his life. Every morning, the butcher woke up early. He washed his hands, said a quiet prayer, and started his work. He never complained. He provided food for families. He earned his living honestly. He worked with discipline. He never judged the monk, never questioned God's plan. He simply did what life placed in his hands. At the end of each day, he returned home tired but peaceful. He slept with a clear heart, while the monk slowly lost his own. Years passed. Time did what time always does. Both men grew old, and one day, both men died. They stood before God on the day of judgment. The butcher stood quietly, head bowed, no expectations. The monk stood confidently, certain of his reward. Then God spoke. The gates of heaven opened for the butcher, and the monk was shown the path to hell. The monk froze. His calm face turned red with anger. This is unfair, he shouted. I prayed my entire life. I meditated. I lived a pure life. And he slaughtered animals every day. God looked at him calmly and replied gently, It is simple, God said. The butcher did exactly what I asked him to do. He accepted his role. He worked honestly. He did his duty without complaint. Then God turned to the monk. And you, he said, instead of doing the work I gave you, you spent your life watching another man's path. You judged his journey. You mocked his role. You filled your heart with pride. I did not ask you to decide who is worthy, God said firmly. I asked you to do your work. I asked you to mind your business. Silence filled the space. God spoke one final time. Everyone has a role. Everyone has a task. When you focus on another person's life, you abandon your own. When you compare, you disconnect. When you judge, you lose your purpose. The monk had spent his life looking across the road and forgot to look within. And here is the lesson for you. Not everyone walks the same path. Not everyone has the same role. Your job is not to judge someone else's journey. Your job is to walk your own path properly. Focus on your work. Improve your own life. Fix your own habits. Because the moment you stop doing what you were meant to do and start watching others, you start losing yourself. So today, ask yourself honestly, are you doing your work or are you too busy watching someone else? Remember, God assigns tasks, not comparisons. Do your work, walk your path, and mind your business. If this story made you think, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs this lesson, and subscribe for more stories that change the way you see life.